you've been out for a while. What's been the thing that motivated you the most?
Yeah.
I got a big fight, but I know if I'm coming back for a big, and I can tell I'm probably, whether or not they're gonna come up with something. Pretty soon after my last fight, I'm figure, okay, I'm gonna be fighting again here, obviously. So I rushed to get a lot of things done, square away a lot of things. A lot of things they weren't so easy. It took me a lot of time to get settled into being, kind of retired for a minute or take a break, and I moved here and there. I was relocating. I just did a lot of things. So once I had everything squared away, I just kept working on what was next, and I knew from that point on that I knew early on that I was going to be fighting again. Let's put it that way. So I just took precaution in that and trained the way that I should, like I would, regardless whether I'm fighting or not. I'm going to be in some sort of a top competitive level as long as I'm healthy. I'm going to be training where there's good training. So it's just kind of the way it is.
Nick, do you feel that Anderson Silva is the greatest of all time, in your opinion? A lot of people have said he is. What's your take?
I don't really like to make big opinions on other fighters and who's the best and who's what. But yeah, sure. I mean, he's made the biggest. I'm sure he's the most important fighter in my opinion out here in the UFC, of course. Biggest UFC champion, biggest deal out here. Him and George St. Pierre, BJ Penn. These are the top guys you can talk about. In past and present day. So that's what it is.
Ed told me he took you to lunch and you guys talked about this fight. What were your biggest concerns when you thought about facing Anderson?
Yeah, we had a talk. I met Ed a long time ago. Didn't even know he was Anderson's manager, so we were hanging out, talking. I didn't know he was Anderson Silva's manager at the time. I wasn't that tuned in to what's going on outside of the training gym. Just like now, really, and I try to stay that way best I can. But you gotta branch out a little bit to understand what's going on. Of course, I learned the hard way. But yeah, I sat down with Ed, and we talked about this fight a little bit. And by that time, yeah, my biggest concerns were just getting the right people behind me to represent me, and so we can land the best fight contract and deal. Because I didn't, before that we weren't talking about nothing. I had to square all these things away on my own for myself before I get it going. People didn't know what I was doing either. They're going like, okay, I gotta do what I gotta do, and when I do what I gotta do, it's gonna be done. So.
Nick, do you recognize the fact that by not going to the workout yesterday and by doing less media, it actually increases your profile and increases the buzz for this fight? Like, we go to these all the time, and there's never this many people around one fighter. Do you recognize that? Is that part of your brilliance?
You never know how things are gonna go. You never really know how things are gonna go, but of course I'm gonna try to cancel out possibilities of what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen, but I know you're gonna get something. There's gonna be some ups and some downs with either direction, but there's always somewhere to go. There's always a way. There's always a way to go. So.
As you smile at all this though, because you got more attention yesterday than Anderson, who did show up.
Yeah, it's a big deal not showing up to something big like this. It's real big. When we got to the airport, I was like, this isn't. I think I'd rather sleep in my own bed tonight. I think they're gonna try to jam me up with a bunch of things. They were gonna keep me up. I was like, what, we're gonna have to. This is not looking good. I left half of my stuff at home. I'm not ready for what we got tomorrow. So, we just flipped a U-turn and hit it back home. I was like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm showing them tomorrow. I'm like, hey, sorry, that's inconsiderate to the other fighters. I'm sorry, hey, You know, you go out there, you do 30 fights, 40 fights, whatever, you know, fight some of the best guys out there, and maybe, you know, I don't know. I'm not trying to say like I'm special. I'm trying to say that, you know, you take what I can get, do what I got to do. That's all. That's all I can tell you. So people want to say, "Oh, that's all irresponsible." I'm like, hey, look, it's irresponsible for me to go out there and take an ass whooping, which is probably going to happen regardless, whether I win or I lose, just like in every fight I've done. So I'm not. It's not like I don't anticipate the worst case scenario going out there, just like I always do and always have. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, I'm going out there, I'm winning, knock this guy, and, you know, done what I've done, and he do it, you know, and he doesn't know what I'm coming with, you know, all this, you know, all this crazy talk. So, because that would be crazy. I'm not trying to give you that. I'm just trying to tell you what's really going on for you. So, you know, I'm just the way I'm you know, programmed is to do is to fight. You know, there's not really much I can say about it. I'm gonna fight for you. I'm gonna fight for me. I'm gonna fight. You know, I'm gonna fight the best I can. So.